Prosecutors asking for more supervision of a suspect recently released on bond after he was charged with the murder of a Cleveland mother nearly 28 years ago.
They say witnesses in the case are fearful for their safety. Investigator Sarah Goldenberg has the latest in the Kathy Parisi case.
50-year-old Michael Bukowski of Toledo is no longer in the Cuyahoga County Jail after pleading not guilty to all charges Tuesday in court and posting 10% of his $500,000 bond. The Toledo man is accused of murdering 25-year-old Kathy Parisi back in 1997. 19 News has been covering her disappearance for years. Her body has never been found. We spoke with her youngest daughter, Angelina, after the court hearing.
It's really not closure yet, but I hope that someday that is the case where we get, I would rather him to confess and tell us what happened for sure than for him to be found guilty.
The only condition the judge set for Bukowski's bond was to not have any contact with witnesses or Parisi's family. Now, prosecutors say at minimum they want GPS monitoring and court supervision for the murder suspect. In a new motion filed late Wednesday, they cited, quote, the defendant's history of resorting to extreme violence to intimidate those who may testify against him. At his arraignment, assisting prosecuting attorney Ben McNair told the judge when Bukowski was 16, he raped a 14-year-old girl and then violently attacked her with a hammer.
Mr. Bukowski snuck out of his parents' house, broke into the 14-year-old's house armed with a hammer, and beat that child nearly to death. He caused fractures of her jaw, of her skull, of her arm. The physician who attended to her said there was no reason why she ought to have survived that attack. And he admitted to doing this, and he admitted to doing it in order to intimidate her about that rape case.
In the motion, prosecutors also said since Bukowski's arrest, several witnesses have expressed fear of intimidation or retaliation. We reached out to Bukowski's attorney, Terry Gilbert. He said they'll be opposing the prosecutor's motion and, quote, they failed to provide any new information already considered by the judge and the bond commissioner after extensive arguments by the parties. There is no need to modify the conditions. In court, Gilbert pointed out Bukowski is a father with 2 teenage daughters and has no adult criminal record.
The last 28 years, he's lived a reliable life and never moved from his residence and knew about this case and never attempted to flee.
Angelina told us she expected him to bond out and is ready for the long road ahead.
Oh God, like I can only imagine like if somehow, some way he gets away or some stupid, crazy thing happens like that.
Judges consider each case individually before setting bail, taking into account any criminal history and possible risks to the community. We'll let you know what the judge decides on this motion. Bukowski will be back in court February 18th. Sarah Goldenberg, 19 News.
Now